to Asberys Echoes. My name is Rhonda and this is my FlossTube where I predominantly show cross stitch, although there are times when I will have something else to show, and I don't think I do today. I do have something to talk about, but I don't have any crafts that I've done today that's not cross stitch related. And as you can see, I have moved my location. I don't know if I'll do this again or not. This took a lot of work. I normally sit in the kitchen and decided we'd try sitting in the dining room. I'm in the corner of my dining room here, and it's my Hoosier cabinet behind me that I absolutely love. We kind of rescued that. A friend of my sister's, they were gonna just get rid of it. And so before it got destroyed, I made my husband run over and we went and got it. And it's been one of my favorite pieces. I love my Hoosier cabinet. So I thought I would maybe try sitting in front of that today. What all was I gonna say? As you can see, no Drew today. He's sitting behind me here, but he doesn't want to be on the camera anymore or on the FlossTube anymore, which, you know, he's 14. He turned 14 yesterday. And so the first thing we did this morning was run to town, and he took his test and he got his permit. So he can now legally drive. Although he has to have somebody, 21 and above has to be in the vehicle with him, unless, family members can be 21 years of age or older, but if he's with another adult, they have to be 25 or older. So he does have to have an adult with him, although within, 6 months, if you drive enough with us and you get your driver's license, is that how it is? We'll have to look into that. But within 6 months, if we follow all the rules, he will be able to get a permit where he can drive to a job on his own. So it's kind of scary, 14 years old. This is the 4th time we've been through it though, so I guess I kind of know what's going on. So I have a lot to show today because it's been a while. It's April 14th, and this is FlossTube number 33. And I don't do, I'm not on a schedule. I try, but schedules around here just never work. So whenever I can fit one in, I do one. And unfortunately, it's been a little while, so I do have quite a bit to show. And I am very scatterbrained today, so I'm not sure where to start.
They can tell.
They can tell? I know. I apologize. I am scatterbrained today. Last time I was going to talk about some of the ribbon or the trims that I get from Purple Paper Mountain. And she started doing some fun hand-dyed like combos. So I've got quite a few. I just pulled, this looks like I pulled 3 of them out today. But these are all dyed the same color, and I don't know, I hate the crinkles. I think it's, when they're inside the plastic, I think it's too much of a glare. So if you have something like, like a stitching box, like one of those traveling stitching boxes, and you want to use different trims, but you're not sure as far as you're wanting to get all the colors to coordinate, she's doing that now. I think it's very fun. I'm not sure what the name of these are. It says number 120, so maybe that's a dye lot or something. So there's all the different, so here's like the little tiny, it's a trim. And this one looks like it's more of a chenille type trim. And this one's a little different too. And then there's the big chenille. And I haven't gone on and looked here lately, but she had a lot of different kinds and different colors. And this is a rickrack too, that's all like the same. So it's all coordinating, which I think is kind of fun if you're wanting to do something that coordinates and you want all the same color. So there's that one. That was a blue one. I got quite a few of the blue ones. This is rickrack. There's 3 different colors of blue hand-dyed rickrack in here. And then this one says number 92. I'm not sure what color this is. See, I haven't used these. I've used some of them. I've used some of the greens. This pack comes with these two. I don't know if you can see them or not. Those two and the Rick Rack. And this is different. I have not used this. I'm not sure what this one's called. I hadn't even noticed that. It's kind of a neat trim. I'm not sure what that one is. I might have to investigate, see if she has more of those too. Anyway, I thought those were fun, and I was going to talk about them last time and I forgot, and I said that I would this time, and I did not forget, which is wonderful. So I thought I'd do that first so that I would not forget again. That's the trims, and I use a lot of the Purple Paper Mountain trims. You can get them. She's on Etsy, and she's very fast shipping, and it's really nice trims. I just love their trims, and the prices are good too. And so let's see, while we're doing that, if you haven't watched me or don't watch me much, you'll know that I'm not one to have hauls. I don't, once in a while I will have, but very rarely. I've been stitching for so many years and I have so much stuff in the house that I really don't need to do hauls. But once in a while, you know, you see what's out there and you just have to go and get stuff. And I have been on a project bag kick here recently. So I ordered this one and I just love it. I'd never had a thread bed before, and I really didn't think I had a use for one, but when I go to my sit and stitches, I decided this would be kind of nice because I tend to just snip my little, have my little thread ends, or my orts, I think that's what they call them. And then I drop them in my bag, and then when I get home, I have to search through and try and find them all so I can pull them out and throw them away. So this is the thread bed. This is from Goose, and I think that this is the Teresa Kogut fabric, maybe. And then it matches this bag. And I do like this bag. I really do. I don't usually want ones with the vinyl fronts. We travel, well, we don't travel, but I hop in the car a lot with my husband when he has to do things like for work and stuff, and so I spend a lot of time in the car stitching. And if it's hot, and you know, we live in Iowa, so you know, summer days, this vinyl, I have to be really careful because when it gets hot, patterns will stick to it. So I tend to shy away from the vinyl, but I see that the two I bought today, or that I bought here recently, they're both vinyl. So here's the Goose. I don't know if you can see that. She's on Etsy, and she did send me a 10% discount code, which is wonderful. I'll have to keep an eye on hers and see what she has. If she gets anything new that catches my eye for a project bag. And then I caught Christy Hines, and she's one of the happiest stitches on earth, her and Susie Walden. And she had posted one of her stitches, and the stitch was beautiful, but the bag caught my eye. And I asked her about it, and she said that she had had a sale, and I knew she had had one. I hadn't been able to participate in the sale. She was selling project bags and the travel stitching cases made out of the jewelry boxes. She has been putting together little, not really kits, I guess, but little bags of the trinkets and ribbons and fabrics that all match. I like the way she does her jewelry case stitchy boxes. They're themed. I had made a couple and I love them and I use them, but when she was showing her themed ones, I decided I've got one started. I started a chicken one, and I have plans for a camping one, and I have plans for a vintage one, but they're fun to make, but they do take a little bit of time. But anyway, she does sell so that you don't have to do all of the work of finding all the charms and the trinkets and all the matching coordinating trims and fabrics. She had bundles of those that she had already done the work for you, and I had kind of thought I would try and see what she had, but I wasn't able to participate. But anyway, long story short, this was one of the bags that she had on that sale and it hadn't sold. And so I grabbed it up, and this one is so pretty. This one's not prim, and that's okay. I love prim, and almost, most of my stuff is prim, but once in a while I like vintage too. I love just the vintage look. I like the muted colors, and this one's strawberries, and I love strawberries. And so if you're interested in hers, I want to say she had some more. I noticed that she had, gosh, I don't know how to open that up and get that out of there. Some more bags that I think she had to offer. Here we go. And I ran across Christy and Susie. I just happened to see a FlossTube of theirs, and I just fell in love with it. I love to watch their FlossTubes. They are so fun, and they do really neat things. And here is the happiest, I think it's the happiest stitches. The happiest stitches on earth. I always want to say the happiest stitchers. It's the happiest stitches. And then down at the bottom, they say, don't forget to floss daily. I floss daily. I stitch. Oh, on the back of this is my project information card, which is nice. That'll come in handy for something. So that was my haul. I don't, like I said, I don't generally, usually if I have a haul, it's like I've been to the antique or the thrift stores and I've come home with wooden boxes or different things that I want to use to display my stitches on, more so than, I don't buy patterns much anymore. And if you could see my pattern stash, you'd understand. I could never stitch them, everything I've got in a million years. There's just no way, there's so much. So I just try to stay away from that. And I have plenty of floss, and I have plenty of needle. I just have. So I try not to have a haul. And then, so there was that. And then I have been saying for, I don't know, since the beginning of the year that I was going to start showing maybe some of my old past stitches, and I remembered today. So this is one of my favorites. And this was long before I started stitching primitive. Oh my, look at the glare, Drew. I don't know if you can see that or not. What's that? He can't hear me. He's got his new iPods in. That was his birthday present. If anybody can remember what this is called, I don't remember, and I could not find the pattern. I know it's here somewhere because I've run across it in the past, and I don't remember it. I don't remember. But she was one of my absolute favorite stitches. I was going to see. Okay, I did have this one professionally framed. The Finest in Needle Arts. And this was, I actually had a close needlework store back in the day. I think I stitched this in 1995. And that needlework store was in Pella. And it says, behind Glockenspiel. Well, if you ever get to Pella, Iowa, it's a Dutch community and it's absolutely beautiful. And they have a Glockenspiel. And we love to visit the Glockenspiel. It's always fun when they play the music, and it's timed. I can't remember, every so often, and the little figurines come out, and it's just fun. And I really miss that cross stitch store because they haven't been open for a long time, and I don't have a local needlework store anymore. So that was my stitch to share. And if you remember the name of that pattern or the designer of that pattern, let me know, because I can't remember. And I know the pattern's here, but as you can see, I have lots of stuff, and my whole house is stuff, and my patterns were organized. They're not so organized anymore. I need to spend time on that too. But anyway, that leads me to, okay, let's go to my stitches. And I have my handy dandy book here that tells me everything I've stitched in the past since the last time I was here. So I've got, here's the first one. This one is called Stars and Stripes. And this is in my Etsy shop. The next ones that I show, all of these will, they will all be in the Etsy shop, the AsberysEchoesStitches.etsy.com. And this one's called Stars and Stripes. And it is stitched on 32 count broom grass by Needle Bling. And I purchased that fabric from Hollis Hands Create, and that would have been on Etsy. I did not dye this one. I love I did really enjoy stitching on that linen. And the trim is Purple Paper Mountain, and I'm pretty sure it was called Prim Barn Red. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure also that I'm about out. I don't have enough to finish another project at all, so I need to get some of that ordered. So there's that one, Stars and Stripes. And I do have some more Americana ideas rolling around in my head. I just have to find time to get them onto an actual pattern. There was that one, and then there was this one. This one is called, this one I've actually finished the back. I don't get that done as much as I would like, but this one is done. And this one is Sweet Honey. Some of these you probably have seen because they've been out since March, I guess, and this is only April, so maybe not. This one is called Sweet Honey. I guess I should show it to you. It's stitched on the Nate Berkus. I do have a lot of the Nate Berkus left in my stash. I have not found any place else to purchase it since Joann's is closed, but I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna try and find something similar if I can. But this one was dyed. I dyed it after I stitched it. And the little flag says B, so it says Sweet Honey Bee. And then my daughter, my very talented daughter, makes earrings out of polymer clay. And she started to, we're trying to maybe get together here and maybe do some prim things. It's funny because she's not a prim person. So I had these earrings and I didn't want to mess with mine. I was going to try primming one up myself, but I didn't want to mess with mine because I wear them. And she happened to still have some, so she primmed a couple of them up, and she says, "Mom, they look dirty." They just look dirty. And you know me, I said, "Oh no, they don't. They're perfect. I love them." So she did this one for me, and this is actually an earring. And I just thought it was really cute, and I just stick it in here, and you can just. I just stick it on there. I thought that was cute. I'd like to see if maybe, I think she's going to be making a bumblebee, and a bumblebee would be really cute too. We'll see what all she comes up with here. She's starting to have fun with it, I think. I think she's starting to maybe appreciate the prim a little more than she did at first, because she's not a prim person, so she's not real thrilled with all of my prim stuff. So there was that one. I did a lot of bee stuff this time. I did this one. It's called Blessed Bee. And this one was done, stitched on 36 count Weeks Dye Works 10 roof linen. And I did not dye this one. This one is in here. This is just like a little metal basket that I picked up at my sit and stitches are held at a little sweetest little store called Fiddle DD, and just the next town over. And she does vintage and repurposed. She just has all kinds of fun stuff. But she did, some of the stuff is not, looks maybe older, but it's not. And this piece was not a vintage piece, but I just love this little basket. But I didn't want to stick something in it that made it permanent, so I just put buttons or magnets on the back, and it just sticks. And the trim is Rick Rack from Purple Paper Mountain, and I had this stitched and done, and Abby Let's see if I can find it. She made, isn't this the cutest thing ever? I don't know if you can see it. I think so. And it is the same as this little beehive on both sides. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I could use this in a decoration, I don't know if I could make a little bow and put this, I don't know, but I just thought that that was really cute. So this one's Blessed Bee, and we may have these little buttons to offer too. That's the plan. We're working on it here. So that's the little beehive. And then after that comes, oh, my strawberry bird. I love my strawberry bird. I had never really done anything, I don't think, quite so, I don't know, folksy maybe? Folk arty? But Abby had made strawberry. Let's see if I can find the little ones. Strawberry buttons. Here they are. And these little suckers are so cute. Look at those little teeny buttons. And she was making strawberries, and I said, well, I'm gonna make something with the strawberry. And this is what I came up with. So I've got one of the little strawberry buttons hanging off my gourd pin there. I don't know if you can see it, with some buttons. And then I put some of the strawberry buttons down here too, but you definitely do not have to put strawberry buttons down there. You can just stitch that. The pattern itself is called Strawberry Bird, and it comes completely charted without those buttons down there. And so that's my strawberry bird. And I'm a little excited because I planted strawberries last year and they came back up. So hopefully, we haven't had, it's really windy today, but I'm hoping to be able to pick some strawberries. Last year I picked strawberries at the neighbor's. He has a very, very, very nice strawberry patch, and he is so generous with us, and we appreciate him so much. And Drew and I went over and picked strawberries, I don't know, 3 or 4 days straight. And so lots and lots of homemade strawberry jam that I canned, and I still have some frozen strawberries in the freezer I need to take care of too before we get more strawberries. But that is Strawberry Bird, and I guess I didn't talk about it. It is stitched on 36 count, picture this plus, Velt, V-E-L-D-T, yes, Edinburgh linen. And it is barn red, prim barn red trim from Purple Paper Mountains. And then of course the buttons. And what was I gonna say about this? There was something, oh, the back's not finished. Oh, all of my stuff is stitched 1/2. Almost everything I stitch is going to be on 36 count. Well, sometimes 32, and a few things on 40. And it's always stitched 1/2. And right now I'm only using DMC, but I plan to kind of start using a little more of the fancy flosses. Maybe expand my horizon. I don't know what you're supposed to say about that. But anyway, right now everything is DMC. So there's that, and that is Strawberry Bird. And then there's this one. Where did I put it? Okay. This is one of my favorites ever. And this is called Grow in Grace. And it is stitched on 36 count. Picture this plus, and this is Legacy Edinburgh linen. This one was Velt, V-L-D-T, Edinburgh. This is Legacy Edinburgh. And this one, the ribbon and the rickrack came from Picture This Plus. So this is the rickrack, and this is the ribbon. And this ribbon is just, it's neat. It's real soft, and it's really fun to work with. And I put it on, I mounted this on a board from Homestead Needlework. And this board, I think it was a whale tail, and it has a hole in it. Well, I just took my ends from making my ribbon and just stuck them through, and that way, you know, if I ever want to, I can take the ribbon off. And then there's another button, and that button, again, Abby made, and it's a sunflower, and I love the sunflower buttons. That may show up in the Etsy shop as a needle minder. I have been using one as a needle minder, and they're fun. So this one is called, again, Grow and Grace in the Etsy shop. And it's just a pretty size, just a cute little size. And then I have, gosh, I want to get through this quickly, but I don't think I'm going to. This one's called Happy Hen Sampler. And I'll show it like this first. This was stitched on the Nate Berkus, the 36 count Nate Berkus. And this one was dyed. I dyed this one after I stitched it, so it wouldn't be so bright. I usually tend to like grungy. And I should say that I did this one too. I dyed this one after I stitched it. And then this one. So this one is called Happy Hen Sampler. If you don't follow me, I'm a chicken lover. We have chickens. I raise chickens. I love chickens. And I love to stitch chickens. This is probably the biggest chicken I've ever stitched or ever designed. And this, I just wrapped around. There's some Warm and Natural under there, and I wrapped it around some of that sticky mounting board. And then I glued it to, this is just cardboard that I wrapped fabric around, and I don't know, either hot glued it. I probably hot glued it, I don't know. And then I display it on this board that I picked up at Fiddle Dee. It's so fun because you never know what you're gonna find at her store. And it will lay flat, but then you can turn it into an easel. And she had it with this little clip on it. And so I can now clip this on there, or if I decide I want something different, I can put something different on there, which I like being able to do that. I didn't get it quite centered, but that's the way it is. You can center it, I just didn't get it centered. Oops, it doesn't want to hang on the little nail. So there's that one, and that one's my Happy Hen Sampler. And then I I got a lot of stitching done. I didn't realize how much stitching. No, I have two more things. Two more. I didn't realize how much stitching I had gotten done. Okay, this is, part of my feather tree. I've been making feather trees, and this is the fourth one. I have the tiny house, the bunny. I think the bunny's back here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm probably sitting in front of it. The bunny feather tree, the tiny house feather tree, and the crow, the black crow feather tree. So this one is my busy bee feather tree. And I can see it's probably not. Okay, yeah. The busy bee. And I've showed these before, and I just love these mounting boards. These come from Homestead Needlework, and she offers them in the shop. And the best part about these, this is the one that, there. Okay, and there. So this is the base, and then it just sits in there. This one's real tight, which isn't a bad thing by any means. There, that one's real tight, but it just sits in there. And then what I've done is I put magnets. This time I've done, this one's got washers and this one's got magnets, but somebody suggested, and I think I might switch them around, putting the magnets on the board and the washers on the back of the stitch. That way, when you take this one off and put a different one on, with the washers, it won't stick to anything. But now with the magnets, you have to, they'll stick to each other, but then you just stick it on, just like that. And then I have more boards, but if you want to, You take that one off and put that one on. And then you can just switch them around. Get tired of the bees, or you want something different, or you want to do bunnies for Easter, or I'm sure that there will be themed, holiday themed ones coming at some point. Then you can just switch them out. Or if you're like me, you can buy all boards too. So there's that. So this one is called Busy Bumblebee Feather Tree, stitched on 40 count vintage country mocha. And the mounting board is from Homestead Needlework. April does beautiful work. Her boards are absolutely, her mounting boards are absolutely beautiful, the workmanship. And they're lightweight, and the wood is just, it's just their quality. I love them. So there's that one. And I do have, something's on there. I think it might be hot glue strand. There it goes. There will be another one coming this week. I've got another one stitched and ready, finished, that I'll put in the shop, I think this week. And you might have seen it because I think I showed it on something last week in one of my pictures. It didn't even dawn on me that I hadn't, but that's okay. It was a sneak peek. Oh, and when I did show this one, I did put, and it was really cute, I took a piece of rubber cement and I put a little piece of rubber cement on the back of my little beehive and stuck it up here. And for some reason I took it off. I'm not sure why. Anyway, it looked really cute with the little beehive button up there. If Abby makes a bumblebee, maybe I'll stick a bumblebee up there. I don't know, we'll see. It depends on what the bumblebee looks like too, I guess. Now I have one more. And this one I just posted today. And I have done these in the past, and I decided to do a new, different one. And this one's called Wash Day. This is an old antique, it's an old hand washer. I forget what they call them. What do they call them? Anyway, this fits right in that little hole, that little spot, just perfect. I could take it out, but it's in there real tight, so I'm not going to. It had something, oh, washboard. This is the National Washboard Company, national number 863 is what it says on the back. I don't remember what it said on the front. It might say the same thing. But anyway, this is stitched on the Nate Berkus. It's a 36 count. And in case you're interested, the stitch itself is 6.5 inches by 3 inches. So that opening is just a tad bit bigger than that because it pretty much fills the whole thing. So 6.5 inches by 3 inches if you're out and about and you're wanting to find an old washboard. Or, you know, if there was a washboard and the opening was bigger, you could mount it on a bigger piece of board, or you could put a thing of fabric behind it. That would look really cute too. I just think these are really cute. I don't really have a laundry room. You walk into the house onto a back porch and the washer and dryer is back there. So I display these back there on a shelf above the washer and dryer. And this is called Wash Day. I don't know about you, but I love to hang laundry out on the line. I can't today, it's so darn windy. We really haven't had very many nice days yet. I do sometimes will hang things out there when it's this windy, but things get really twisted up and sometimes the clothespins fall off, and so I tend not to, but your clothes dry really fast when it's windy like this. And that is it for my finishes. I do have a start. I'll just show it to you, but I'm not going to talk about it much because I haven't done a trio in a long time. So this is going to be part of a trio. I could, oh, and it just dawned on me what my needle minder is. That's okay. Abby's been busy. This is not going to be strawberry themed, but as you can see, my needle minder is a strawberry. and they will probably be offered in the shop. But this will be part of a trio, so I'll let you guess. What do you think the trio is going to be? Or what do you even think that is? It is not Americana, and it is not strawberries. But I'm working on it. I hadn't done a trio for a long, long time, and I thought, you know, I need to do a trio. What?
Just making sure it's still filming.
Oh, yeah, it's still filming. So that's it for cross stitch. But I did have something I wanted to share. A while back I shared what were they called? Oh, I've got all Abby's buttons. This is full, all of Abby's buttons. I found a use for my little box. I think I've shown this, I know I've shown this box before a couple times. It's full of buttons now, little polymer clay buttons. I got an idea for something a while back. Well, it's only been a couple weeks ago that I saw it. And a couple days later, I noticed on the antique store in town had these little dolls that I was wanting for a project I'm going to do. And I ran in there, and she was telling me she'd done some research on them, and they are called penny dolls. And I just found these to be so interesting. And I know when I talked about the little cedar boxes, the little Lane cedar boxes, I had picked up a cedar box from the antique store in town, and I covered it with that Home and I. Home and I are such good friends. That's what I had the box for, but I kind of gave a little bit of a history of those boxes, and people really enjoyed that. And I find it very interesting. I love old things. I love antiques. I love vintage. I love prim. And I had a couple of these little dolls, and I did not realize until Rhonda told me. She said she had done some research on them, and she says they're called penny dolls or frozen Charlottes. And so I went in and picked some of them out, and I do have a project for them. I don't know if and when I'm going to get them done, but or when I'm going to get it done, when I'm going to have time. But I just wanted to show them to you. And then I did a little bit of research on them, and I found it fascinating. And now I'm going to be on the hunt for penny dolls. If I ever find penny dolls, I'm going to scoop them up because they are so sweet. But these little penny dolls, so I got these from her, and this is, I think, a little bride and groom, and I think they're really cute. And then there was this couple, I think. No, these were a couple. These were a pair. I have to look. Maybe not. Anyway, there's this one and this one. Isn't she cute? And this one. And those were all the smaller ones. And then there was this one, and it says on the back, gosh dang, it, made in Japan. This one says made in Japan. I can't read. There's something on the bottom too. It looks like J. Oh, Japan. Japan. She is adorable. I don't know. She reminds me like of a little flapper girl or something. I don't know. Her paint is still really nice. And then I showed that one. This one's jointed. And I think she's just sweet. And then this one's got a little dress. A little vintage dress. And she's got, well, they're not really jointed. I shouldn't say jointed. They're arms. They have movable arms. So there's that one. And then I got home, and I knew that I had a couple because my grandmother, I have a doll collection. I had a huge doll collection, and then all of them were made by my grandmother. And I had a couple, and I never realized what these were called. This one, I'm not sure if this is called a penny doll or not. This one was one of Grandma's, and he looks like a little, I don't know if he's a little Dutch man or a little, I'm not sure what he is, but I've had him forever because this was Grandma's. And then I had this one, and when Grandma gave me these things, she always made outfits and clothing. And so this one was Grandma's, and I've had her out for a long time. And this one, I doubt if that this one's a porcelain or bisque. I'm not sure what, but I'm sure it's not a penny doll. I'm trying to read. Grandma's got a little piece of tape on there, and it says Grandma Ward. I don't know if it says 74. I'm not sure. Anyway, this one, she needs clean. She's dusty. She's been up there in my china hutch, but she's really dusty. So there's that one, but I'm sure she's not a penny doll because she's too big. But she's also got the joints. But when I just found this interesting, and it just makes you like, it makes me love these little dolls even more. They were called penny dolls, and I had to write this all down. They originated in Germany, and they were popular from the 1850 to 1920. And they were originated in Germany, and they were bath toys, which I thought was interesting. These little ones were bath toys. And during the Victorian era, sometimes they would bake these in cakes, which I remember hearing about that. He's got Japan on his back. I'm not sure. Yep, they all do. They all say Japan. This little teeny tiny one doesn't. Yeah, he says Japan on his leg there. But anyway, and the reason why many of them were sold, like this one, sold without clothing. And I don't think this one had clothing. No, she did not originally have clothing, and I know this one didn't. This was Grandma's. Oh, Grandma went above and beyond. She even has a little slip. See her little slip. Grandma always did all of that. I mean, if a doll had shoes, there would be homemade socks. Grandma she was amazing to me what she did and how well she did that. Anyway, the reason why a lot of these were made and did not have clothing is because it was a way to encourage children to develop their sewing skills to make clothes. I think that's really neat too. They were called penny dolls because mostly they were sold for a penny. So they were a cheap doll. Pretty much anybody could get one because they were cheap. They were just a penny. And the reason why some of them are called, I just found, this is just to me, frozen Charlottes. So like this one was probably a frozen Charlotte. I'm not really sure what was considered a frozen Charlotte and what doesn't. But a frozen Charlotte doll was a particular style, a bisque penny doll, and it was inspired by a folk ballad. And I actually looked it up, and you can look it up, and there is a poem called, what was it called? Where is it at? Young Charlotte by Seba Smith, and it's very sad. So he read in the New York Observer back on January 1st, 1840.
I don't know if you can say it on here. YouTube might get mad.
What?
Read that.
Why?
Because it's death.
Oh, I don't think so. Back in 1840, he had read a story. It was a true story in the New York Observer. And it said, a young woman was frozen to death while riding to a ball on January 1st, 1840. And so he read that article, and then he wrote the poem called Young Charlotte. And then later, a William Lorenzo Carter wrote a song inspired by the poem, and the song was called Fair Charlotte. And for some reason, they started calling these penny dolls Charlotte dolls. No, frozen Charlottes. Frozen Charlottes. And I had heard of frozen Charlottes, and I knew that these were sometimes called that, and I always thought they were called a frozen Charlotte because, you know, they were just like frozen, I thought. A lot of them, you know, they didn't have movable arms or anything. So like this one, and I just thought, oh, they just call them frozen Charlottes. They like the name Charlotte and called her frozen Charlotte. But no, it was, and so I just find it interesting. And I think these little dolls are even more special now that I know the story behind them. And I do have a project, so, and it will involve cross stitch. It's just a matter of getting it done. And I don't know when that's going to happen. And I need to find a certain thing to display it in. That's the big thing, and I have not found that. And I really thought, because yesterday it was Drew's birthday, but it was also Palm Sunday, and so we went to my sister and brother-in-law's, my husband's side of the family. They always have, the siblings always get together on Palm Sunday, and we have to go through Des Moines to get there, and it was Drew's birthday, so we stopped on the way and let him pick out birthday present. We had some time to kill, so we stopped at the Brass Armadillo. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the Brass Armadillo, but it's a huge antique mall. And I just thought for sure. Would you believe I never found a penny doll there? And I never found what I was looking for my project. So I'll be on the hunt for that. And that's always fun. At least that way, when I do go to the antique stores or the thrift shops, I'll have something specific to look for. Although usually when I do have something specific, that's when I don't find anything. But we'll see. And if I get more penny dolls, I'll have to share, because I just think they're the sweetest things. And now that I know the story behind it, it just makes them more special. So that brings me to the end. I have a lot, and I know I always say this, but hopefully next time there won't be such a huge gap between floss tubes. Now that the weather's getting nicer, though, it gets harder and harder. It gets harder to find time to stitch and create, and it gets harder to do things like this because we spend so much more time outside than we do inside. But I'm going to make a conscious effort, and maybe, hopefully, may not happen next time, but I'm hoping to get my daughter to do a floss tube with me, and that way you can meet her, and maybe we will have things figured out, and we will have some new things in the Etsy shop to share and to sell. And that's the plan. But she does work at the schools, so it may not happen. She may not be able to do it. We may not be able to get together to do a floss tube until school is out. But we do plan on having some of our things to share and offer, hopefully even next week. We'll see. So keep an eye out for it. And if you have any suggestions as far as needle minders that you would like to see, or designs, or I can't promise anything. It depends on what she can do. I haven't even seen her process, so I need to go over someday and just watch the whole entire process so I know how it all works. But just let me know if you have any suggestions or ideas, or if you'd be even interested in them. They are fun. They're different. They're different than anything I've seen out there before, and so it's just fun to use. Isn't it funny how we're cross-stitchers, but we like to have all the fun little trinkets and different things, and I've been thinking the stitching boxes too, after I've seen how Christy does her themed stitching boxes, and how she uses the little trinkets and the little different things to put in them. I've been thinking that way too, so maybe we'll come up with some fun things for that. But I think that is it. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, those who order. It's still it's humbling to think that somebody wants to stitch some little design that I come up with, because I never dreamed that this would happen. And I just love when I see when other people stitch my patterns and they share them. I just love to see them. So if you want to do that too, please do. And if you want me to share, I love to share on my social media too what you have done, because sometimes I look at something that somebody else has stitched that was my pattern, but I like what they've done with it so much better than what I thought to do with it. We're all so creative, and we all have such different ideas and thoughts, and it's just fun. I just find it so fun. This whole journey it's really enjoyable, and I want to thank everybody, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this, or wouldn't be able to do this. So I can never remember, what am I supposed to say?
Like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications so you get notified every time we upload. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you'll get notified every time we upload. I try very hard to put it on social media too, but not everybody sees it. Oh, and one more thing, and then I will get off of here.
I keep getting lots and lots and lots of friend requests on my Facebook, and I love that. But I would prefer the friend requests. You don't even have to send me a friend request if you go to my AsberysEchoesStitches on Facebook. That is where I show all of my stuff and everything I'm doing. And I may or may not get it put on my personal page. So if you really want to see everything, if you want to see the new patterns, or if you want to see what I'm stitching, or you want to see any of that, you'll have to either go to Instagram, where I'm asberys.echoes.stitches, or AsberysEchoesStitches on Facebook. And I don't, when I get friend requests on my personal Rhonda Miners page, I may or may not accept them. And that's simply because I have been hacked in the past, and it was not fun. They took over everything. And so that's one more thing to tell you too. There is a page out there called Asberys Echoes. That was my business page. But when I got hacked, they took over my Rhonda Ward Miners, my Asberys Echoes on Facebook, and my Instagram. So they're all still out there. I can't get them off. They won't let me take them off. I have tried. So they are still out there. So those are not me anymore. They are not. And whatever is on there is either old things from, it's been way over a year. It might even be close to 2 years since that happened. Or I do not have crypto. I have not bought a brand new house and a huge, beautiful car. I have not done any of that stuff, but that's what they've been, that's what they put on there in the past. I don't know. I haven't gone to look. I just tried to stay away from it. So don't go to those. Make sure that what you're looking at is things that I have recently posted. Then you'll know that it's me, because you'll see the stuff, like all the stuff that I just showed today will be on my social media. Just stay away from those other ones, because they're not me anymore. I don't know why people think that's fun, but they do. So anyway, that is enough of that. And again, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. I don't know. I can never remember. But until next time, thank you and have a great next few weeks. Goodbye.